this is happening first things first, even as both the sides are engaged to finalize a trade deal. Remember, we had an interim trade agreement that was agreed upon between both the sides earlier this year. And of course, a joint statement was signed. But both the sides are still sort of working out how to sort of complete that agreement and how to sort of, look at the signing of the India-US trade deal. And amidst all of this, the United States has launched a major crackdown on transshipment shadow network. And the US says that it helps China get around steep American tariffs. In fact, it has said that China is laundering exports through not just one country, not just through India alone, but over 40 countries. And of course, India is mentioned in that very report as a high-risk destination, as a high-risk geography. In fact, the report also claims that there are alternate routes that are making Chinese goods appear to originate elsewhere. And Chinese exporters are using minor assembly, packaging, labeling, reinvoicing and changes in shipping routes to disguise the true origin of goods. And this is essentially being done to avoid higher US tariffs. And that has really been claimed by the White House. Now, let's understand what exactly is transshipment of transshipped goods. Now, transshipped goods essentially indicate that, you want to export to a particular geography. In this case, it's the United States. But since you have tariffs, since you have duties on certain products, you will not be able to do that without sort of paying those tariffs. So you change the direction, you change the labeling, you change the packaging, and of course, you change the mode of transportation as well midway to sort of avoid those tariffs. And of course, we do understand when it comes to China, US and China have been sparring over the past couple of months, in fact, almost over a year, ever since President Donald Trump returned for the second time as US president. And of course, at one point in time, triple-digit tariffs were imposed by the United States on China, and then China also retaliated back. There was a trade war, full-blown trade war between both the sides. And after that, both the sides met, the premiers of both the sides met, and they agreed upon a trade network. In fact, when we talk about India, it is one of, the economies, risk economy that has been classified. But there are other trading partners of the United States that have been mentioned in that report, and that includes Canada, it includes Mexico, European Union nations, Japan, and South Africa in the list. So what will it essentially mean for these countries and more importantly for India? Well, future trade deals could include anti-transshipment provisions. I mean, there are still rules of origin that are part of trade deals, and several of these deals have been signed by India with many of our trading partners. But there could be further very stringent mechanisms as far as transshipped goods and provisions are concerned. And of course, the United States says that there could be penalties on countries if they allow tariff evasion. So overall, the US is pegging $34.2 billion to over $300 billion of goods that could be transshipped annually into the United States. Of course, this is a developing story, ladies and gentlemen. We are awaiting clarification from the Indian government, a response from the Indian government that hasn't yet come yet. But of course, we'll be updating you with all the very latest that's happening as far as the story is concerned.